Hola chicos, today we're going to be talking about palabras afirmativas y negativas. As always, we have our host Ricky Martin. I have taken this off of Prezi. This Prezi link is on my webpage on our daily PowerPoints. This is what the overall concept looks like, and then I'll be breaking it down into each part for you. So let's get going. Okay, first thing when you need to think about negative affirmative words, this is not something that's negative or positive that you do. This is saying there's somebody in the bank. There's nobody in the bank. That's a negative or a negative word and an affirmative word in Spanish. Nobody or somebody. Best way to memorize these are opposites attract right here. So I have this cute little picture with peanut butter and jelly. Okay. So by that, there's several things that we need to talk about. Remember, in Spanish, you typically will have a double, a triple, or a quadruple negative in a sentence. In English, you are not allowed to have double negatives. In Spanish, you must always. To make a sentence negative, you are going to place the magical word of no in front of the verb. So first of all, you're going to put your subject, then you've got your word no, and then your conjugated verb with the rest of your sentence. So to negate this sentence, ella no habla con la maestra. She does not speak with her teacher. When you are answering questions and you need to negate that response, two negative words are required always. So if I wanted to ask you, hey, is Gerardo in class today? ¿Está Gerardo en la clase? And you wanted to say, no, he wasn't in class today. No, Gerardo no está en la clase. All right, so with our affirmative words here, most important thing to remember, most of these begin with this magic letter A. If you look here, we've got algo is something, alguien is someone, algún is in red because we took this out of our curriculum, but I think it's still really important that you guys know what this is. To say something, is right here, algún, and this end here, alguno, alguna, algunos, algunas, would be specific to whatever that some is. If I said I have some chairs, yo tengo algunas, because chairs is feminine and plural, yo tengo algunas sillas. I have some chairs. Then we've got siempre for always, también for also, and if you are saying I like this and that, or perhaps that's a bad example. If I wanted to say, would you prefer tea or coffee? ¿Prefieres té o café? There's that or right there. All right, so fire and water, opposites attract. All right, so for negative words, negativos, most of them begin with the letter N that you see here. We've got nada, which is nothing, nadie, nobody, ningún is in red just like algún was. We took this out of the curriculum, but I still think it's really important that you guys know this, and also this is specific to what you do not have, if that makes sense. So if I wanted to say I don't have any chairs, yo no tengo ningunas sillas, okay? Here we've got nunca, jamás is never or ever, tampoco, neither or not either, and then ni. For my last example, would you prefer coffee or tea? If your answer was I do not prefer coffee or tea, in English we say I don't prefer this or that. In Spanish we would say I don't prefer neither coffee nor tea. Yo no prefiero ni café ni el té. Some extra tidbits. Once your sentence has an affirmative word in it, it will always be affirmative. You cannot mix and match. So I can't say, I have something with nothing. In English, we can say those things, but in Spanish, once your sentence is affirmative, everything will be affirmative. If your sentence has a negative word in it, meaning nada or nadie or no, it will always be negative. Like I said before, you cannot mix negative with affirmative. In English, Maria doesn't need anything, not. Maria doesn't need nothing. But in Spanish, Maria, here's my no, so I'm going to know that this is going to be a negative sentence. Maria no necesita nada. She doesn't need nothing. But in Spanish, directly translated, she doesn't need nothing. In English, she doesn't need anything. We would never say, Maria no necesita algo. She doesn't need something. That would be incorrect to say in Spanish. So negative word stays with negative word. Negative word does not stay with affirmative word. You cannot mix match those. Okay, so for opposites, when opposites attract, you get some mustard and ketchup. Actually, that doesn't even rhyme. Oh well. All right, so we've got los opuestos. That means the opposites. By the way, do you love my little wand? I think it's kind of great. I couldn't decide whether I wanted to use a purple or a green. I chose green. So, anyways, nonetheless, here we've got algo, which is something. We have paired that with its opposite, nada, which is nothing. Alguien, someone. Nadie, no one. Algún, some. Ningún, none. Siempre, always, nunca, never. También, also, tampoco, neither. O, either or. Ni, neither, nor. So if you are asked to find the opposite of alguien, your answer would be nadie, because with someone you have no one. If I said find the opposite of nada, you would say algo, because you have nothing, now you've got something. So the best way to learn this is opposites attract. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 negatives. For this, with one negative, you can start it with a negative word. Nadie habla. I don't need to say no, nadie habla. That doesn't make sense. Or if I said ella nunca corre, she never runs. Those negatives are just fine to use as only one negative. If you have two negatives, I would say no habla a nadie. There needs to be a little magic letter A there. No habla a nadie. She doesn't speak with anybody. Or ella no corre nunca. She never runs. Okay? For three negatives, él no compra nada tampoco. He doesn't buy anything either. So we've got our first no after the subject comes before the verb. Then we've got our next negative word and our next negative word. Remember that here's a negative. Those both have to be negative. If this said él compra algo también, that would be an example of an affirmative sentence. And then here we've got for four negatives. Are you ready for this? Drum roll. Brrr. Yo no veo nunca a nadie tampoco. Which says, I don't see anyone ever also. Which I don't know why you'd ever want to say that, but just in case you ever did. Okay, I never see anyone neither, I guess is directly translated for you there. Okay, nouns. The words alguno and ninguno, I told you we took those out of the curriculum. The reason why kids have a really hard time with this concept specifically But I think it's important that you know, as young language learners, it's always a really great idea to learn correctly the first time. So if you have a masculine noun, okay, perro, gato, chico, estudiante, padre, teléfono, libro, these are masculine and they're also singular. What is specific about this is you see this yellow or this orange O, you are going to drop this O from alguno. You're going to drop the O from ninguno before masculine singular nouns. So my example down here is ¿Tienes algún libro? Libro right here is masculine and it's singular with the O. So you drop this O right there. So algún, you drop the O when you use it with masculine singular nouns. If I wanted to say the answer to this, I could say no tengo ningún libro because I used a negative. No, this would be ningún instead of algún. I hope that makes sense to you. If you have questions, please make sure that you're writing these down and ask them to me in class. Okay, how do you use ninguno or ninguna? Again, this has also been taken out of the curriculum, but I think it's really important that you guys know. It's generally used in the singular, not any one, okay, not any one of those. So if I wanted to say, ¿Tienes algunos asientos? Do you have some seats? No. No, I don't have any one of them. So no tengo ninguno. Okay? ¿Tienes algunas grapadoras? No tengo ninguna. And I use ninguna here because this is grapadora. I use ninguno here because this is asientos. So grapadoras, ninguna. Asientos, ninguno. Ninguno. So this is basically saying I don't have any one of those in that group of a specific topic. Okay, please, ojo means pay attention. Ojo, pay attention. Alguno, alguna, algunos, algunas, and its opposites match the number, singular or plural, and the gender, masculine or feminine, of the noun to which they refer. So nosotros tenemos algunas tijeras. We have some scissors. Okay? It's really important that you know that tijeras with an AS, algunas also has to match. I wouldn't say nosotros tenemos algunos tijeras because this is feminine and plural. This also has to be the same. Okay, my loves, that is it. We are done with negative affirmative words. I hope this was helpful to you. If you have any questions, please again write them down, ask them to me in class, and I will see you soon.